Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Aries EDC. This is another edition of Thoughts, Feelings, and Updates. TNFNU, I'm trying to call it. If you're a first-time viewer, welcome. If you're returning, thank you very much for checking in again. This one, I'm going to talk about the poll that I put up on my community board, and then some knives I'm sharing and some things that are going on right now. Welcome back to the shop, or at least the clean part of the shop. This part of the shop is where I do a lot of my filming. I have some of my collection in here. I have Emmett and Ashes is over there. You may have seen them, but I do my kydex and I do my etching, and this is like the clean part of the shop. And then through the door over here is the dirty part of the shop where I'll do all the grinding and drilling and everything else. Neither here nor there. So I put that poll up because I wanted to understand why do you carry a knife? Because it made me think why I carry a knife. And the reason that I carry a knife is pretty simple. I need a cutting tool. And I enjoy having something in my pocket that I can pull out, open a box, break down something, cut anything I need to. And it's always there for me. I found myself at a job where I was in charge of all the incoming packages and things that were coming in. So I needed a knife instead of having to go to my desk, grab a pair of scissors, and it was just annoying. So I had bought a couple knives just so I can open up packages. And that became something that I really got into the knife community and knife collecting, and as you can see, it's turned into some craziness. And this isn't any of the collection part. This is just the antique stuff, really. So I started carrying a small pocket knife in my pocket because of the packages, and that was really the only reason I ever started carrying a knife. And then I got this new job, and it's more of a hands-on job, and you know, it was something I could tell you right now because there's some changes coming. It was in the pool industry, and I found myself needing a knife to open up bags of salt, bags of bicarb, boxes of acid, you know. So it's like the worst case scenario when it comes to steel is what we're opening and dealing with on a daily basis. So obviously I needed something that was stainless, and something I could just beat on. Being here in Central Florida, in the heat and the sweat and everything that's going on, I needed something that was corrosion resistant, everything else, or something I could just beat on and throw away and be done. You know, and I shared a story when I went through the collection of the knife that I carried and then what it turned into. Oh, I forgot to take this down. Hold on. Okay. So, you know, and then that started the fixed blade craze because I used to carry a folder, and all of the junk and powders and everything were getting clogged up in the pivot. And so I decided I'm going to get a small fixed blade. So I got a CRKT Minimalist at a big box store, very inexpensive, but perfect little EDC blade for me to cut open anything I needed. It was I did front carry, horizontal, and that's how I carry my fixed blades. And this thing just came in handy, and it checked off every box that I had. So it was really cool. It was also, I don't know if you guys checked out my other story, it was also really cool that I got invited to a barbecue by a couple makers, and then I find myself sitting next to Alan Foltz, who's the designer of this blade. So just a small world, but I didn't tell him, but I kind of geeked out a little bit inside. So anyway, I do not carry a knife for self-defense, but I do understand that that is a large portion of the community. And with that poll, 71% said for a cutting tool, and then the 29% said for self-defense. which I totally get. And then I've talked to people who carry several knives, and this one is specifically for self-defense. This one is just for regular everyday cutting. So I guess they're carrying that one in hopes that they never have to pull it out to take care of it, take care of any self-defense situation. I don't find myself in the regular world feeling like I need something to protect myself. I know that's why some people carry firearms. Personally, I know it's kind of weird in the knife community, but I'm not really big into firearms. The difference is a firearm is meant for one thing. And a knife is meant for several different things, or can be used for several different things. And a firearm is used for one thing. So you can figure out what that is. I don't need to go into it. I'm all about you having your guns. I don't care. That has nothing to do with me. I live my life in a simple motto, you leave me alone, I leave you alone. You can have your opinion, I'll have my opinion, and we can live comfortably and get along just fine. Just don't push your agenda on me, and I won't push your agenda on you. So I will never push my agenda on you guys watching this channel. If you want to do all of the things you do in your life, that's great. This is what I do in mine. I don't have any issues. But to carry a knife for self-defense, some people do. I personally don't. So it was an interesting poll, and interesting to see what the outcome of that is. I hope you guys got involved with that. So that's kind of what my thoughts and feelings are as far as self-defense versus just carrying it as a cutting tool because you need something to cut on a daily basis. But I do understand that if the situation arises, even something like as small as this could be used as self-defense. It's a cutting tool, and that's going to do a lot of damage to somebody in that situation. Any knife would. So it's just a matter of taste and a matter of what you guys like. So anyway, that was the thought behind putting that poll up. It was an interesting thing. I wanted to see what everybody thought and what everybody was doing with that. So I wanted to talk to you guys about this one. This is the Orion Cetus. I've seen it popping up on everybody reviewing it and everything. And this is not a review. This is just kind of an update, really. I purchased this knife because, honestly, I was on a live stream with Big Red EDC. Check him out. If you don't know, if you're watching this, you probably already know who he is. And he held up a version of this knife after he purchased it at Blade Show and said how wonderful it is. And I bit on it. And this does not fit into my aesthetic of a small 3-inch blade, because this blade is much bigger than that. Full 4-finger grip on it. And it's a really big knife for me. But I really do enjoy it. They did a good job. Just my thoughts on it. Reverse flick, no problem. You can hear, have no issues doing it. Nice drop shut, just a little shake. You can use the thumb hole or the hole there to get your thumb in it too. No problem. But the flipper, and I really haven't watched the other guys' reviewers and what their thoughts are. But I can tell you, if I hold this thing here and without any wrist action, I do the flipper, I can get it to do it. I can get it to deploy, but I have to push really hard. If I just barely push, it'll slowly swing open. But I really wish that action was a little bit smoother. You can see that failed. So you really got to hit that flipper to really get that blade to come out. Or you use a little bit of wrist and it'll come out really nice. But Cetus, again, just G10 aluminum on the face, and then on the lock side is stainless steel. Great blade, 14C28N. I was in Lowe's the other day, and my wife and I were going through lumber, and I needed to cut some of those plastic straps that were on the lumber, and I had this on it. No problem, cut right through it. And I'm glad I had a bigger knife to do that with. So anyway, really cool pickup. Still my favorite is the Nightshade. They did that mini version with the thumb studs and the bar lock. That's on my list to probably get one day. But this guy, for the money, and so same with the Cetus, well under $100. I think this one's like 60 something dollars. I mean, you can't beat that. So you got the micarta, copper bolster lock, or bolster, or whatever that is around the pivot. You want to call it the collar around the pivot. Copper, and I've been into copper and black lately. I don't know. Maybe I made a knife with it or something. But rounded, crowned a little bit. Really cool. Did you guys want to see that Damascus one? Of course you do. So here we go again. I've been, when I went to that barbecue that I talked about in my last video, I brought this with me and I got some good responses. So I'm really happy with the way that it came out. I need to do the sheath for it. And guys, I'm not good at leather work, and I have a couple makers sending me stuff. Actually, he sent me leather. I think I've talked about Jim Mahoney, and he sent me leather and some instructions on how to do some stuff. And there's a store around here I might pop in that give me some help. But yeah, I feel like this needs a leather sheath, definitely, instead of Kydex. But this is just a showpiece for me now. I have to still put an edge on it, but I kind of wanted to do the sheath before I do the edge. I don't know. That's just, in my mind, I feel like that's what they're supposed to do. Because once you put the edge on it, that's a completed blade. It's done. Like, that's just how I feel. Oh, going around to carrying every day. So, sorry, I'm bouncing all over the place, guys. So I had this, and then that sparked the making of knives. And so now what I carry every day is this. This is my everyday carry fixed blade. You see, if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen pictures of it. This is a model of knife that I call the Bloom. It's a small EDC size fixed blade. As you can see, I beat the snot out of it. But, you know, 440C steel. It's stainless, and I haven't had any issues with it. Every once in a while, I'll oil it up. I use mineral oil, but I beat it. I've had to sharpen it a couple times just because of the use that this thing gets on a daily basis. But, you know, this was really thick steel that I had laying around. Actually, by mistake, Jantz, who I buy a lot of my steels from, sent me the wrong size. So I had this big chunk of 440, and I made this knife, and it's really thick. But for this size of a blade, I rounded the crown. It's a 3-finger, but I have the lanyard for the pinky, and it cuts great. But it's one of my knives that I made, so I can't go too crazy about it. I don't like to boost myself up, but this was the first time I had ever used multi-pieces for the handle. So this is black linen micarta and the burgundy micarta with the G10 liners. I wish that lined up a little bit better, but when you're dealing with angles and everything else, and literally what I was using was scraps from other pieces to create that handle, and it came out really well for my first time ever doing it. I also made the bead, and I don't know if the camera is going to pick that up or not, but this is the handle materials put together. It doesn't really contrast really well, especially on camera, but maybe you guys can see it. But yeah, so that's usually what I'm carrying on a daily basis. It's my knife that I made for myself, which if you're a maker and you make something for yourself, it fits this other kind of pride thing that you have when you create something and then you can carry it every day and you can look at it and just be like, yeah, I made that for myself. I don't know. If you're interested in being a knife maker and or maybe you are a knife maker, you're just getting into it. Hopefully you're watching some of this and you're watching like my build along series, which I did, which you really need to go check that out, the build along series, because I go through a lot of the basic tools that I have into making a knife. The one thing that I get when I show off a knife like this to people and say, yeah, this is a knife I created, and then they find out I have a 1x30 grinder and just basic stuff, they're just kind of like, dude, you need to upgrade. You need to upgrade. If you're doing this on a 1x30, you need to get a 2x72. And I would love to get a 2x72, but I don't have the cash for 2x72 or the space for a 2x72. Now, I can make the space, but, you know, I don't have thousands of dollars just laying around that I can't use for something else that's a lot more important as far as living and paying bills, because this ain't giving me any money doing this. I'm doing this for fun. So hopefully you guys are having fun along with me. And I want to show this off. This is probably one of my favorite knives in the collection. Giant Mouse Bilbio M390. I got the natural micarta. If you guys have the money to pay for something, a Giant Mouse, please do. This thing, I don't know, it's my favorite. I love the blade shape. It's not too big. That handle is super comfortable. That finger choil where you can really choke up on the blade is nice. Really great. So I wanted to show that one off. You know, I've gone through my entire collection with you guys. So, projects that I'm working on. So I made a model called the Bud. So I have this whole flower thing, and it was never meant to be this way, guys. But, so I had the petal, then I had the bloom, I have a pistil, I have stigma, and now I had the bud. And the bud was supposed to be just this cool little EDC blade that you could be carried every day. But with my original bud, and I wish I had it, but I sold it. The handle shape, although it was comfortable, it was a little big, little bulky, and it just kind of, the design didn't flow. So I asked you guys what handle shape would be better. I did it on Instagram, and you guys said this handle shape, hold on, this handle shape would be better. So this is how all my designs start. I start off on paper, and then I shift over to wood, and then this is my blank that I use to draw out on all my knives. So every single one of my models, I have a wooden blank that goes along with it. And then, ta-da, the new handles came out really nice. So this one is almost done. I got the nice Kydex sheath. It's not ever gonna come out on you. And so this is the new bud. Great little knife. I have a coworker for now who every time I bring in a knife, he's like, you know what that would be good for? Charcuterie. So it's just kind of our little thing. And yeah, I looked at this one and finally I was like, yeah, it's like a mini little chef's knife, but EDC size. So great little 3-finger blade. This one has the purple G10 with the G10 green tubes. I acid etched the blade and it gave it a nice sheen to it. Really turned out nice. I was a little concerned on this one because the tip is so thin. Oh man, that tip is so thin that I was concerned about sharpening, but it came out really nice, super sharp. So this one's almost done. It'll be on the Etsy store. Let me know if you're interested. But yep, nice little package. I think I'm gonna do the black loop on it. And then I'm finishing up the other one that you guys may have seen pictures of. This is the green one. Again, same shape, same handle, really comfortable. This is the OD green with orange, and this blade was acid etched, and I stone washed this one. So hopefully you guys, the camera's picking up the stone wash on that one. So that finish came out really nice, and it will be getting an edge either tonight or tomorrow, this weekend, as I film this on a Friday. But really cool little EDC blade. You need to choke up on it. You can get your 3 fingers, get your finger right up there, control the tip to make any cuts that you need. Great little something to keep around for camping or whatever you guys want to use it for. It's $10.95, same as the other one, but it's a great little blade. So I'm really excited about how the new handle shape on the bud came out. Turned out really, really nice. So, again, I do my own kydex. I try to do everything myself. I want to be all-encompassing, controlled by me. I don't want to outsource too many things. The only thing I outsource is the heat treating of stainless, because I'm not really set up to do that. So anyway, guys, that's what I have for you. There are some big changes coming up. I told you guys I'm in the pool industry. Well, that is changing. Actually, this is my last full week of that job, and I'm going to be starting a new job mid-July. So what does that mean for the channel? I don't know. I wish I knew. I'm trying to dedicate at least 2 videos a week, and releasing them, the first one on Tuesday, and then Friday, Saturday, releasing the other one. I'm gonna try to commit that for you guys, just updates on what's going on, and then maybe some videos of the projects and how-tos when it comes to making knives and the things that I do. So I want to share that with you guys. I want to continue to share. The job might have some difficulties with scheduling, but I'm kind of going to work through that. I kind of have some ideas on how I can get through it. But anyway, guys, that's what I have for you. I hope you guys can stay with me through this. Things are changing. I'm really trying to dedicate 2 days to release the videos. What do you guys think? You think that's a good idea to release the days so you guys always know, hey, on Tuesday, Aries is going to release this, and then Friday, I'm going to release this. What do you guys think? Do you think that's a good idea? I'm trying to make things for you guys and share ideas and things with you guys. I want to be part of the community in some way, shape, or form, and I'm becoming that, especially here locally in where I live, like that barbecue, and then the other club that I'm trying to get into too. But anyway, guys, and if you ever want me to see some of this stuff around me, let me know in the comments. I can share. I don't mind sharing. I love sharing. All right. So please subscribe, like, leave a comment or not. That choice is yours.